boys and girls. Today we're going to talk about rounding to estimate. We've already talked about rounding and we've already talked about estimating. If you remember, I hope so, rounding is when we put things to the closest number to make things easier, right? So for instance, if I had the number 23 and I said round this number to the nearest 10, well, 2 is in the tens spot because it's 20. And the 3 in the 1 spot is what we look at to see if the 2 gets rounded up or if it stays the same. Remember, 4 or less, let it rest. 5 or more, let it soar. What number do we have here? 3. So the 3 tells the 2 to stay the same. And 23 is closer to 20 than it is to 30. So 23 rounds to 20. We did rounding all last week. You should remember we did like 5 days of it, guys, and we even had a quiz on it. And estimating, we did that a while ago, so that might be a little bit harder to remember. But when we estimate, we use a calculated, educated guess. I hope you remember me saying that. I literally said the exact same words in the last video. A calculated, educated guess is how we estimate. Yes, it is a guess, but it's calculated and it's educated. So sometimes when we estimate things, we might just look and take a wild guess like, all right, well, I see there's a lot of desks in my classroom. There's about 4 over here, and that's half of my classroom. So I'm going to estimate there's probably about 8 desks in my classroom. This is an estimation because I'm taking a guess, but I'm using my education and my brainicle to think about things. I'm seeing, okay, there's 4. So if I see 4 and I know that that's half, then there's probably at least 4 over here. There could be a few more, there could be a few less. And right now there's actually only 7 desks out. So my estimation of 8 was very close. But rounding to estimate means we're going to use an educated, calculated, even closer and more specific guess. And it's less of a guess, but more of a mathematical equation. So when we round to estimate, we first round, and then we estimate. You will use rounding to estimate in different things in life. You will use it when you're buying clothes, buying groceries, buying almost anything. You will use it when you are cooking food, when you're trying to make something, when you're decorating. You use this a lot in life, and sometimes you don't even think about it. We're going to look, I'm going to give you a sneak peek of what your assignment looks like for today. And then we're going to go back and practice a few different ones. They won't be the same from your assignment. So this is what your assignment is today. Your directions say round each number to the nearest 10. Very important. Not the nearest 100, to the nearest 10 on all of them. And then add. You're going to put your rounded numbers and answers in the spaces provided. Next, see how close the estimate is to the actual answer. Calculate the actual answer and put your answer in the space provided. So if we see 46 and 81, 46 plus 81 rounds to, okay, well 46. 4 or less, let it rest. 5 or more, let it soar. This has a 6 in the ones place. The 6 tells my 4 to soar. And it becomes a 5, so we go up to 50. 46 rounds to 50. What does 81 round to? 4 or less, let it rest. 5 or more, let it soar. Where is a 1 on that? Is a 1 less than 4 or is it more than 5? Good, thank you. It's less than 1, it's less than 4. So our 81 rounds to 80. What is 50 plus 80? Well, we know there's a 0 in the 1 spot, so let's fill that in. And what's 8 plus 5? Very good. It's 13. So 50 plus 80 is 130. Let's go over here and calculate our actual answer. Now, to be honest, Miss Farmer sucks at doing addition this way. I like to do it up and down. My nephew calls it the train way. I don't know if that's how you learned it. I like to do it this way. The 6 plus 1 equals 7. 4 plus 8 equals 12. So 46 plus 81 equals 127. Was our estimated answer very close to our rounded answer? Oh, I'm sorry, to our exact answer? Yeah, they were. There's only 3 difference there, okay? We're only off by than it is to do the actual addition or multiplication and division as we get to those stages. So this is a sneak peek at what your work looks like today. We're going to go back to a blank sheet where we can just practice a few others. All right? So I'm going to go over a few things. This should be simple because you have learned both of these already. You've learned estimation and you've learned rounding. But this way we can practice a few more times. So first, I'm going to give you two numbers. We're going to round them, and then we'll add them. Those are the three steps we're going to do. Two numbers, round them, then add them. All right? The first number will be 34. Add it to 77. All right? 34 added to 77. We'll find out what that equals as the exact answer in a moment. What does 34 round to? We're rounding to the nearest 10, so we look at our tens place and we see that there's a 3. Our ones place is a 4. What's the saying? Oh, what's that saying? 4 or less, let it rest. 5 or more, let it soar. Very good. So we're looking at the 4, and we know that 4 or less, we let it rest. So I think that my 34 is going to round to a 30. So I think that this becomes 30. And if you're like, well, Ms. Farmer, I'm not really quite sure, let's double check it on a number line. So remember, it can be between 30 or 40. So we got 30 down here, we got 40 up here, we put 35 right in the middle, and then we find it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. 31, 32, 33, 34. My 34 is right here. Is that less than 35? Good, so it is closer to 30. We were right. 34 rounds to 30. Very good. We still got a plus sign in the middle. What about our 77? What does 77 round to? 4 or less, let it rest. 5 or more, let it soar. Well, we got a 7, which is more than 5, in the tens place, but it's in the tens place. Remember that. We're rounding to the tens place, so we need to look at the ones place in order to know what to do. 4 or less, let it rest. 5 or more, let it soar. Oh man, what am I going to do? 5 or more, let it soar. Oh, Ms. Farmer, I can't remember where 7 is. I'm going to make a number line just to start off. That's fine too. So we get 70 at one side. Well, what comes after 70 when we're counting by tens? 20, 40, 20, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80. Great, 80 goes on my other side. Okay, what goes in the middle? Well, 75, of course, right in the middle. All right, let's figure it out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 71, 72, 73, 74, 75, we're in the middle. 76, 77. Oh man, 77's right here. Well, I can now see with my eyeballs that 77 is definitely more than 75, right? It's bigger than 75. And it's a whole lot closer to 80 than it is to 70. So 77 is going to round to, oops, ignore me. Let's do the rest. It's going to round to 80. Good. So now we've rounded both of our things. Now it's time to estimate. What is 30 plus 80? If you're like, oh man, Ms. Farmer, I'm still not good at doing addition this way, just like you, that's okay. 1, you can flip it over and you can do it this way, 30 plus 80. Or you can look and say, okay, well there's zeros in the ones column, so I know there's going to be 0 there. 0, 0 is still 0, regardless of which way you're doing it, all right? And then you're like, okay, well 8 plus 3, oh, I put 8 in my brain and then go 9, 10, 11. If that's what you got to do to figure out how to do addition, that's what you do. Put it in your brain and count with your fingers. Is it the fastest way? No. But it will make sure you're getting it right. We get 11. Well, 8 plus 3 equals 11. So regardless of which way I add it, 30 plus 80 is going to equal 110 every time. Let's do the actual addition and see what 34 plus 77 equals. Well, 4 plus 7 equals 11. 7 plus 3 equals 10, plus another one is 11. So how is our estimation compared to the exact answer? The exact answer was 111. our estimation was 110. I'd say we're pretty close. We were off by 1, guys. That's awesome. We're going to do one more example, and then I'm going to let you guys go on your own and do it yourselves. Do your best and forget the rest. Just try your hardest. As long as you're trying, I know it's working. Remember, if you have any questions, you can join Zoom again at any time. I am on until 11 o'clock to help you and to solve any problems. And if you want to just join Zoom and do your work so that every now and again I can just say 4 or less, let it rest, 5 or more, let it soar, and that's what you need, that's okay. Join Zoom. I'll be there from 9 to 11 today. All right, let's do some new numbers. Let's do, got it, 182 plus 49. Okay? We'll figure out what it equals. We'll find the exact answer here, but first we're going to round and do all of that work first. Hint, listen closely. I am rounding to the nearest 10. To the nearest 10. So even though I have a number that has a hundredths place right here, I'm not touching that. I'm not touching it. We're not dealing with hundredths right now. We are only rounding to the nearest 10. Okay? I'm going to write that up here so you don't forget. Nearest 10. Only. Alright? So let's round this to the nearest 10. If I'm looking at the number 182, what digit is in my tens place? Very good. It's the 8. The 8 is in my tens place, and that's what I'm looking at. That's what I need to know if it needs to go up or if it needs to stay the same. All right? The 2 is in my ones place, and that's where I'm going to look to see if the 2 is 4 or less, and I let this 8 rest, or if the 2 is 5 or more, and I let the 8 soar. We're going to show the number line. We're going to round it. Let's do the number line first. So because it is in the hundredths, I could really still do this as like 80 or 90. But because it's in the hundredths, I don't want you guys to get confused and forget about that 1. So we're going to do 180 or 190. See how it's the same thing? Same? Okay. And in the middle, we have 185. Now, let's find 182 on our number line here. We have 180, 181, 182, right there. Is my 182 closer to 180 or closer to 190? Good, thank you. Yeah, of course. It's way closer to 180. So we have 180 is our rounded value. All right, now we're working with 180 over here. Let's go to 49 and see what we're working with. We're still rounding to the nearest 10. Don't forget about that. All right, nearest 10. So our 4 is in the tens place. I told you that one. I didn't even make you guess. Which digit is in our ones place? 9. Very good. This 9 here is going to tell this 4 if it should soar or if it should rest. 4 or less, let it rest. 5 or more, let it soar. Let's figure out where the 9 is. We're going to make our timeline. Oh, I'm sorry. Not a timeline, a number line. Social studies is sneaking up on me. We got 40 over here. We got 50 over here. We got 45 in the middle. If you guys are like wondering why I'm making 4 in between, it's because it goes 40, 1, 2, 3, 4, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50. Makes it easier. I like to make my ends and middles first and then fill in. All right, 49, let's find it. 41, 42, 43, 44, 45. Anything after this, we know we're rounding up. 46, 47, 48, 49. Oh my goodness. Yeah, we're rounding up. It's so close to 50. It's like right there. All right, so 49 rounds to 50. It's closer. Anything it's closer to is where you go to, guys. It's very simple. All right, let's add this. What's 180 plus 50? And if you're like, Miss Farmer, so that's okay. We put it together. We do 180 plus 50. Our ones places are still zeros because after you round to the nearest 10, there should be nothing in your ones places. If I was rounding to my nearest hundredths, there's nothing in my ones or my tens. That's how it works. We talked about this all last week when we were doing rounding, guys. So again, my ones are zeros. What's 5 plus 8? Good, 13. What's 1 plus 1? 230. We're saying that 180 plus 50 equals 230. Let's see how close we are to the exact answer. And by that, we just do the exact math. We do 182 plus 49. Well, the 9 plus 2 equals 11. That equals 13. 8 plus 4 plus 1 is 8 plus 5, which equals 13. And then 1 plus 1 equals 2. Well, again, we are one digit off. We are one number off. We got 230 as our estimated, and our exact was 231. That's how you know you estimate it well. Remember, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, or need any help at all, please join the Zoom. It's the same link that it is every single day. It's on your planner in 4 different places. Click on any of them. You will find me waiting there. Remember, give me a minute to answer. If you are waiting on Zoom for more than 60 seconds, then shoot me a message, okay? This is what you're doing today. Yours is going to look like this. You're going to have a few more to do. You don't have a whole lot of workspace, so if you need workspace to do the things that we were doing, do it on the next slide. You guys have the ability to add as many slides as you need. Use it. All right. That's your math for the day. Good luck, guys.